Ladies and gentlemen, Miles Bridges addressed the Charlotte Hornets media for the first time in I don't know when. And I was very ecstatic to hear the things that he said. And he is returning to the Charlotte Hornets. If you've been living under a rock, ladies and gentlemen, Miles Bridges signed the qualifying offer. We documented that here at Flight Sports. And he's ready to return to the team. They understand that basically, it was a lot of things, that went on, which led to Miles being out. And we don't got to get all into the domestic situation that took place. He will serve an additional 10-game suspension when the season opens up. But the Miles Bridges, my key takeaways, we're going to get into everything what Miles was discussing, because it was a lot of remorse. You heard it from the moment he opened his mouth. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to Flight Sports TV for more Miles Bridges news, Charlotte Hornets updates, Mellow Ball, MB1. You already know everything. Listen, Miles Bridges was alongside President of Basketball Operations, Mitch Kupchak. We all know the legendary Mitch Kupchak. And listen, he's ready to return, and he talked about the things that he was working on through this past year. Like we stated before, he signed the 1-year qualifying offer, worth $7.9 million, and basically he was in therapy. As you can see, he said he has a great relationship with his kids, his family. And he's still trying to protect the privacy of the situation. We all know that everybody's poking, trying to get info and intel, from Miles and about what happened here, things that he really can't speak on. A lot of this stuff, like I said, this is a case. You understand? He can't get all into this, that, and the third. I don't know why media push up on these kind of questions. It's not a good look, but Miles Bridges did, plead, no contest, and they want to know why this and why that. He did this back in November, basically to the accusations that the mother of his child made, and she ended up coming back and saying how he needed to do, he needed a second chance, and he got that. He was sentenced to 3 years probation. I want to give some quotes at what he said, and I'm going to continue on. He said this in quote, "I want to apologize to everybody for the pain and embarrassment that I have caused everyone, especially my family. This year away I've used to prioritize going to therapy and becoming the best person I can be, someone that my family and everyone here can be proud of." So clearly that's what he wanted, and he emphasized that. He said that, listen, I want to let everybody know I'm still the same player that y'all drafted. We got to understand something. Miles Bridges, Michigan State product. This dude, Miles Bridges, was the truth. And Mitch Kupchak had to acknowledge that, listen, he had his best season. You understand? The year that basically he was at, basically right before he left, he annihilated this man, and he said, listen, I want to be with Charlotte. This is the team that drafted him. This man was the first round pick, pick number 12 in the 2018 NBA draft. Like I said, a Michigan State Spartan. Nobody knew that Miles was going to grow into the player he was going to become, and that he's becoming, alongside LaMelo Ball. Him with LaMelo, I'm telling you, the last time we seen Miles, he averaged 20 points per game. He shot 49% from the field, 33% from three, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and damn near steal. Mind you, the man was an Iron Man, ladies and gentlemen. He played in 80 games. So you talk about a team that dealt with injuries, dealt with, when you're dealing with a loss and this time you got to get back in the game, this is what they was dealing with. Now you got a guy in Miles who's an Iron Man. He's going to be on that floor. He's going to make sure that he's available to help out his team. He knows what's to be here. And even Mitch said that basically he's expecting Miles at some point during the season to take leadership and regain the trust of his team, which I do believe he has. Miles was already a leader of this basketball team alongside LaMelo Ball, and I expect him to assume that position when he gets back. When Miles returns to play, I think once he starts dominating, all of this stuff is going to start getting beside him. Obviously this is like the new news, all this Miles stuff. But once all this stuff gets over and done with, we can move on to the basketball and on the floor, and that's what we all want to see from Miles Bridges. We want to see on the floor, play. And Listen, I feel for Miles that he had to go endure this, but like I said, I think this is gonna, work well for him. He has to be held accountable. You cannot do these antics and not expect something to come back your way. You understand that something clearly came back his way. He did say that he believed the Charlotte Hornets will be a playoff team. So he said a lot of things that I was actually happy to hear. And I believe the Hornets could be a playoff team too. They got a great collection of veterans and young guys. And what are they gonna do? They got a lot of upside, obviously with the young talent they have, but also via trade. Like they could flip something and get something crazy. Like it could happen. I just want everybody to know. So let's see how the Charlotte Hornets, shake all this out and figure out how they're going to build this team alongside LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and the crew. What they're going to do with PJ. Now I think you start to see what's going on, but they have another voice, another leader on the floor. So like I told the people, he said also he thinks this team got better defensively. Miles said a lot. And I'm with Miles. I think this team got better defensively as well. And I think that the big man they got, and I told the people, Mark Williams, he's going to clean up a lot of things at the rim. And playing alongside Miles with that aggressiveness, that ferociousness. Miles right now is a nice, cool, he's very remorseful, which I believe he genuinely is. But on the basketball floor, he's a complete animal. So I'm expecting him to bring some of that mentality back to Charlotte, pumping LaMelo Ball up, with a big dunk, with a big play. They galvanize Melo. Melo already is a self-galvanizer, but now you got a guy in Miles who gonna come in and do his thing and get Melo going. And now you could bark on Mark Williams, and I don't mean get up on him like ridiculing him, but when Miles delivered that intel to Mark Williams, it's gonna hold a lot of weight, and a lot of action gonna get moved around, when you got talent like that. I'm telling you, the Charlotte Hornets, I think people are sleeping on the amount of talent that's on this roster. And now, like I said, you have a 1-2 punch right now. You got a rookie in Brandon Miller who's going to get good alongside LaMelo and Miles, because they're going to demand him to be good because they need another option. They don't got time for him to come here and be no bust. It won't happen with Miles and Melo there, I'm telling you. I think that they coming back with a mindset of, listen, man, it's time. It's time. And if anybody is derailing that, if anybody is slowing that down, they will be held accountable. Much more accountability than was held last season, where a lot of players just did whatever the heck they wanted to do. They coasted, and they had a horrible season, and they ended up with the 2nd overall pick. I'm going to leave it at that. Welcome back, Miles. Miles Bridges is about to annihilate on the whole entire NBA. And you heard it here first on Flight Sports TV. Listen, we're going to be documenting it all. Shout out to Miles.